Hello and welcome, as it is the completion of the 20th day of December, which means we'll be entering into the 21st day or start of a new season, which will be that of winter Northern Hemisphere. And it's going to be, as the title states, a collection of a lot of different markets and a lot of different topics. And there will be definitely a lot of stuff going on, so therefore the disclaimer: all bets trades alike, within each his own risk and their own reward. For myself, risk reward management's always job number one. And really, you can say there's no point in it. I could say there's no point in it, and I know I really don't have to say that, but to me, I believe the risk reward management, I believe, is very, very important. That just being aware of it, I think, is just good to be aware of such, at least. All right, silver. I don't know what happened at 8 p.m. Eastern time, but something did. It's 8:38, December 20, as I'm doing it. But the price action on silver here has just rose significantly, 26.16. It's up to 26.87, which means on the hourly term time frame, it is up 2.79, 2.8% just this hour alone. As it has managed, it should be easier to state, to break above this level of resistance near 26 and 3/10, and already has had a significant gain going north of that level. And obviously it's an area we haven't seen, at least in a little bit of time. We go to the daily term. It's now getting to this little point here. I've been mentioning, I expect around 27 and a quarter by Christmas. I only need about 25 plus 13, 38 cents. It's probably going to be that price by lunchtime on Monday, as it's now entering into this previous range here. And if we're going to have any retracements now with the gains going back here north of like 25 and change, that's the area we like to see as support now, 25 and a third, a general area. And even if it goes as far down to the 24 handle, but not really, because we've already supported on the liftoff, so I'd like to see a higher low from that point as well. And because of such, I really think that there's, what I'd really, really like to see is come up to and make a move and test 29 into the 29 handle area. And then by doing that, then I'd be saying, well, maybe it can make a higher low at lowest at around like where we are now or something in that ballpark area. But it's going to be a matter of time before these markets truly, truly break out, because this to me looks like a powerful excitation breakout amongst the weekly term time frame on the silver price action. And I would expect it to, just like the Bitcoin I was talking about, the 20,000, really face very little resistance. Even more so, I would mathematically think, at least going into the case for this one here for resistance. I think there's a good chance that it's going to violate this to the upside and have a significant gain there after that, which would mean here just so super strong here weekly, just even stronger here on the monthly, how it's just a phenomenal two-leg move up here. So when it established this level of resistance, it went a lot further than a general or average area would be, which is a phenomenal move. And then coming back to the 18 and seeing it lift off as such. But even within the last period, you can see how we had a couple highs in here, just from the two, already shown, of course, amongst the weekly and the daily, just this level of resistance in here. So therefore, I think if it's, it's going to, but I think it's going to have a nice little break above here. So if you're looking for like probability odds, strong situation, monthly chart, well, everyone likes to try to make their predictions for the year and such and whatnot. Well, if I'm to predict 12 periods from now, as it stands, over under 26.83. As a sports handicapper, one of my jobs would be, what's the percentage chances of over and under? And it's significantly higher than 50% to be higher than this price, I would presume. And then when you're looking for the odds of, say, things like, well, what's the highest price of the year be? Will we come in test like $50 before the end of the year, within the next 12 months? And I'd have to think the answer is most certainly probable, just based on the fact of in situation. I'm going to talk computer programming language, but in situation, price action significantly breaks north, well, a clear break, or basically north of 31 and a half. If it gets north of 31 and a half, what's the probabilities that we see $50 within 6 periods and 8 periods, and it's pretty good. And then, of course, you'd have to stay as long, of course, as any bullish trends can come into play. And if it does it within this year, obviously that would be the case. So I just have to think that the odds that silver's going to have phenomenal moves this year is going to be pretty high. Now, as it goes, if I look at some other coins like gold's only up 0.8% right now. So what's going on with gold, or not going on for them? It's going up too, as we can see. Volume's coming in here, so something happened at 8 o'clock. Because I was thinking after I said it, what's going on at 8 o'clock, I'm thinking, well, I already knew gold was barely up. And so maybe it's a silver-related move, but this is pretty interesting. I may just check some things like currencies and such, because I don't even know what I'm going to be expecting when I see all this, but... what do we got here? Dollar index. I don't even usually look at too much at this. Well, the dollar had an interesting move at 8:30, a little bit after, but whatever. That's a 1 minute time frame. Yeah, not much of a move overall. So nothing to state there. What else is there to look at? Really nothing, not unexpected. Really nothing. I'm going to go back to the other markets that I want to. I guess next would be that of Bitcoin, up $250 since 7 p.m. or in the last hour and 45 minutes. Did anything happen at 8 o'clock here? And I don't know. I mean, I'll check now for the first time. Yeah, no, we don't care. Whatever happened, they don't care. I mean, a little bit of extra volume comes in at 2006. That is higher than all the ones before, but a lot of that could be timing issues and multiple different reasons, and just variance as well. I didn't plan on having any 1 minute analysis like I kind of did within this, because as far as I've been noticing within Bitcoin amongst a single hour term time frame is where we are right now within price action, which is at around 23,000 and decent change. Decent being 7's bigger than, closer to the top is a higher number than the 0 to 9 scale. Meaning it's closer to 24,000 than 23,000. So anyway, this level of resistance was first established on the 4 a.m. session on December the 17th. It was retested again several hours later. It's been a few days, a couple days only rather, of not even coming close to testing it. But while it was spending only a couple days of not coming close to testing it, it was succeeding miraculously at supporting 22,500. Even 22,400, whatever, this line here. And as it broke out from this in the afternoon on December the 18th, it supported here. But most importantly, the support here coincides with this resistance. And it's been doing so for quite some time, but it's been just like it was a long, long time of going sideways. And after this long time of going sideways, it didn't have that much of a move as far as volatility is concerned. And now it's in the same thing, in this sideways range. It's got to break it at some point to the other. Obviously, it broke the last one to the upside. It's in the middle of this range now, so I'm not going to try to make any indication to where it's going to break out, other than I think it's going to go to 25, but that doesn't mean we can't go like this before it goes to 25. Or wherever else, even down to here or wherever else, just breaking this range. I'm just saying that I think I do like the productiveness that it's able to hold and stay within this real entire sideways range like this from this fantastic move. This is a move going from 19,000 all the way up to about 24, or a gain of about 25+% in a very short period of time, in a little over a day or two, a couple days. So therefore, that to me, and I mean, you're holding in there again, supporting what resistance was for the most part. You've already extended what the previous double hit highs has been hit twice in here. A little bit of a failed breakout here, as it looked like it was going to get going earlier this afternoon, 1,400, 1,500 hours, and then this red candle down 3.3% at 1,600 hours. But it's been holding in from that move pretty good ever since that has occurred too. Pretty phenomenal thing. I gotta check Bitcoin dominance out. I haven't looked at that in a while. I'm just thinking that for a little bit here. So I want to check out Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin Cash is doing very well too, so I'm going to talk about that. But I haven't even been looking at this. This is going to be raw analysis that I'm looking at. Because most of the times when I do these videos, it's a matter of me looking at this, and I'm going to talk about this, I'll bring this. And then even when I do plan on this, I always bring up stuff that I don't plan on anyway. But right now, it looks as if this is in a uptrend breaking out. It isn't, well, sort of in an uptrend because I can make a case overall sort of neutral, whatever. But as far as it goes from this move down in here, has recovered all of its losses, came back to the support. And just like the silver and gold charts I've been showing, it looks like something that could very easily come out and test the 71 number. And that would probably mean continuation of Bitcoin going up. So for the rally of the dartboard rally that I've talked about, that's when this would be in a very much of a downtrend. And there's still, right now this is, this move has been rejected right now. There's no signs of that right now. With that being said, Bitcoin Cash having, all these coins we see against Bitcoin have been getting their asses kicked more times than not. And a lot of them getting their asses kicked a lot of them are either holding in there against the dollar or doing relatively well. And yet getting their asses kicked against the Bitcoin. Now, this is just another attempt, and there's been so many of them that I'm going to be talking about. And you can't even really see this. You can't even really tell it's too much anyway. That's even rallying on here right now. It's like below the 18 average of lows. 18 average of highs comes in at about the 1860 handle. So we know right off the bat, you can look at this and you can say even a move that's going to gain, what would have to take 30 basis points. So another 20+%. And now it's at the upper end stages of, so maybe you want to flatten it out. Flatten it as in the band out and flatten out the downtrend to a sideways neutral one. Because in any chart, when you're already in any type of major downtrend, any move to the 18 is an attempt to flatten out the band. And then in doing so in here, there's an attempt in here to flatten out the band. It did so for a bit here. And then an attempt to make a rally is when you make a move above the 18 average of highs, which is what this attempt was. And obviously it failed. We can see the failures signings in there within the 18 average of lows. We can see how the breakdowns, where the breakdown stages is, so we can see what the follow through has been thereafter. And therefore, 20%, again, just brings you to neutral range. Price action was to get up to here. That would take us to the 24 handle. We're still going to be largely depressed overall, at least against this price holding. And that would take from this high, and we haven't even got there yet, that would have to go from like 19 to 24. That's like 5 points on 19. That's like 20, 25, 30% from what would already be a 20% move. So it would have to make a gain of like 10 basis points on 15 to do, that's like 60% move. So if you see any of these coins already moving in like this 20, 30, 40, 50%, it still has a long ways to go to be like, oh, this thing is an amazing bull market run. You definitely can't say, oh, it's definitely way overextended. It can't go up too much, or it can't go up anymore. And we've already seen when coins go way up, they can go way up when they're ready to do so. But we also know that so many times we've seen a lot of these rallies come in, and oftentimes, or pretty much with a lot of them, a lot of these times, if not all of them, they end up failing within the run. So therefore, let's take a look at the daily chart. There's a move above the 18 average of highs, comes back to the band, no go. We can see it resist it, leaving the 18 really on a couple of different times, showing you that this thing was going to be, we'll just have a weakness there. Most certainly a major one right here, and then grinding down a little bit. So oftentimes from failed moves can come a fast move in one direction, and not really. But it concisely didn't look good for a while, I suppose. And because of this. A little bit of this failed breakout here, but this is where it gets interesting, because after this rally rejected to this to 3 days, and then we have this. Okay. This will tell me most likely, I mean, it's not going to tell me that this is most certainly going to be the play for sure, and this is going to at least even have a leg higher, because again, even if it does, we could have a leg higher that fails, because this could be saying, okay, yep, this is a failed breakdown, we're going to go up here, and then it's just going to fail again, because that could easily happen too. But when I see a lot of these setups come in, I see that it's supposed to break down here. It's already had a decent sized gain, but it's also barely above the 18 average of highs. So is the play too late on the original move, or what does the short term state in here? We had one move and it corrected well, and we've had a second already. So short term, I always have a difficult time in situations like this, because one, it has barely gotten above this level of resistance, so that's not a bad time to buy. But it's done so in a decently overextended second move. And on the 15-minute term time frame, again, just showing just what these markets can do. That you don't know how long they're going to be sideways. Maybe it was going to break out here and it was going to go. No, and then of course it didn't. And maybe it would have started to break out on this run at 1,500 hours. No, but maybe it was going to start going at 1,800 and change. Yes. And of course could have been not. It's just, this is the free market going in, having people having the buys and sells always getting executed. But one thing to keep in mind too is, especially with all of the major coins, is there's so many different exchange, different funds, and different and different reasons for investment purposes, where all of these coins like Bitcoin Cash, Ripple, Chainlink, Ethereum, Litecoin, where they're going to be needed to be in their portfolio. So you could have a day or a week where some of these markets will just be having phenomenal gains. And it could be just a case of something like that. And that they're forced to buy whatever millions and millions and millions of dollars worth, if not even, well, we'll say multiple millions and millions and millions of large degrees. And that's going to really start to influence the markets to phenomenal levels, if not billions. Yeah, if not, I'm trying to think of the numbers, because I don't go to CoinMarketCap too much, but so I don't even know what the CoinMarketCap, I guess I can see what it is here. What's the market cap? I got it on here somewhere. Right here, yeah. $440 billion. So that means most of the other cryptocurrencies collectively is about well under half of that. Yeah, you can't. It's very. I mean, it's a large firm if they're buying $1 billion worth of one cryptocurrency. So yeah, when you see firms like moves of those natures, that to me can oftentimes be an indication of things like that as well. What else? I've already covered Theta recently. Don't need to go over that. Let me just check out Palladium just for something to do, because I haven't seen that in a while. That's just really, it really hasn't been performing as well as gold and silver here lately. I mean, it had an interesting move up to this point. And you can see such within the monthly term time frame. I suppose, I mean, it means a lot, but I think anyway, what you're seeing like 4 or 5 periods or so showing strength amongst the 18 average of highs. And just a lot of sideways consolidation in the middle of the range on the daily. And then platinum, it's got it's got a very bullish pattern on the daily chart, showing a lot of strength as well amongst the 18 highs. It's established this level of resistance on December the 4th. Okay, now it's been holding and staying like 2-3 weeks above for this decent move. Getting the key resistance here to 1,088 all the way up to 1,043, so it's marginally broken it. And it's really congesting at it for again, that's 2 weeks of congesting at this high, now going into its third week. And the monthly term time frame, it's attempting an exitation after, and it's a second attempt since before the COVID. Again, it's a decliner back from what gold and silver has been doing. But it does show to me as if this thing is ready to retest the high from 2016, so on and so forth in here. But well below its highs from, still got more than, it has to do better than a 2x move to get back to its 2000 highs. But pretty much silver's near 2x as well, but just looking a little bit better on its monthly chart. I've already shown it already, but I'm just going to show it again because yeah, it's maybe not that much better. But overall, again, beautiful setup, I think. And we're in a world right now where I've been just talking about preparing for the upcoming economic monetary collapse. You can delete that upcoming part. And it's been happening for a while now. So you're kind of wondering if, can we sustain these higher prices of silver, gold, and Bitcoin and things like that during these current times? Well, this is the economic conditions for years and years and years that I was expecting would support such situations. The amount of businesses that are going to be closing over and over and over again. And one of the things I would think if you're a business is, and I mean successful businesses, and I'm going to define successful as you as a business owner have been able to currently have your business set up where you're able to store cash assets. Whether it's because you are making income year in and year after, or maybe you're starting up a business that's losing, but your investing capital is rich enough where that's successful, that's fine. Because the whole point of it is when you got cash, what do you do with it? Do you hold it in, put it into stocks? Do you have it in your bank? Do you just let it stockpile higher? And I've always learned not to put all your eggs in one basket. So, and such. And you really got to think about what an egg and what a basket is too. But when you realize the entire field of cryptocurrencies, entire field of precious metals, entire one of fiat currency, all that stuff, but fiat currency especially, because all these businesses hold their assets in CASH, cash, and cash derivatives, such like stocks and anything that's measured into a banking system. So even anything banking related. And remember, banks are the one that creates your paper rectangles or plastic ones. So therefore, if anything happens with such a system, do you want to put everything in such that could all collapse? Therefore, it's probably a good idea to have some Bitcoin. Probably a good idea to have some precious metals. So how many of these businesses that would be deemed as successful, small businesses to large businesses, would be in such a situation where they're doing that? And the best part is with cryptocurrencies is you don't need to put much into them. When they are having these sick ass 10, 20, 30, 50x type moves, you don't have to allocate as much of a percentage of your investment capital, especially when you're speculative, on such a vehicle. But just think of what would have been the case if you did it when it was $2 a Bitcoin, then $5, then $20, then $100, then $500, $1,000, $2,000, $4,000, even $6,000, heck, even maybe $23,000 today, which is what it is at now. How well had and is one going to be doing and such? For if you were one back in the day when it was $20 and $100 and whatnot, $200, $400 to put it into as a business to put some in, then you had to decide when it was doing well. Okay, we have to make a business decision. We are doing very well with this particular investment class. What do we do here? It's always nice to have a difficult decision that's good for you. Um, and then the just in case situations. I mean, you have to have car insurance and you have to have house insurance, but do you have to have monetary insurance? See, if they force monetary insurance on you and forced you to own Bitcoin and forced you to own precious metals, it would be a different story. Rather, they forced you into fiat currencies on so many fronts. Just saying. And if you think of it in forms of an insurance-based level, but really, again, smart investing as far as diversification, really, to me that, and when you think about it, because you know there's a lack of amount of businesses and individuals who are in situations where their portfolio is allocated to such, that rush for both Bitcoin, Bitcoin, all cryptocurrencies, well, when I say all, large variety of them, and the precious metals is most certainly going to be getting out of hand. Because if you were to walk down the street and you see 100 random people, what percentage of them, how many of those people do you think have at least 1% to even go 2% of their portfolio allocated into cryptocurrencies? And how many of them have at least 5% of their portfolio into precious metals? Oh, that high or that low. Yeah, it's probably not going to be too many of them. And it's just, the best thing to do is for me, is just realize, okay, the shit's hit the fan. We're in an economic depressionary time. And if you don't think it's depressing, look at all the news and how depressing all the stories and everything and how things are going on today. Oh, and then if mostly in the Western world, almost everybody has a downtown like world where they live or close to where they live. Take a look at some of those stores and malls, for that matter. Another one. How many of them have been closing down? How well do those areas look right now? And the closures are going to get out of hand in 2021, I think. Seeing more and more businesses closing permanently, especially, of course, with everything that has forefronted the event in 2020, of course, with the current situation going on. Really the Black Swan event. Because it is no Black Swan event that we're having any type of large currency collapse and those types of things. It's taken this long to happen, really. When you look back, and you would have asked me, and I was saying back in here, currency should be definitely collapsed by in here. No. See, but then I also figured back in 2008, 2009, and 10 that there would have been a larger increase at the start of the previous decade of, I guess you can call it a truth movement towards things like the fiat currency, amongst other different topics that were going on and still going on today, the fiat currency system. 911, so many other issues then, of course, 911 being like many people saying the story's different from theirs to ours kind of deal. So on and so forth. Is there really anything else I want to go over? Not really. But, silver's $26.80 on the U.S. side. Canadian $30 and $34.05. Probably. I mean, it's all looking the same here pretty much. You get the excitation of the 18 average of highs here as well amongst the monthly chart. For it already tested this mid-range area that the U.S. is moving into. So when the U.S. would test that, most likely Canada would be testing previous high near around under $49 on this. Because when it hit $49.81 on April 30th, 2011, how I know those numbers offhand. I know how. I won't say how, but a lot of you probably already know. Just obsession. So therefore, how the United States high was $49.81 on that day, and the Canadian high was $45.51. I thought it was a little higher than that, like 46, 47. Maybe this is just Wrong data. The reason why was because back then the US dollar was actually, as far as numbers, weaker than the Canadian one at this point. I can bring that chart up just to finish this video to show. So many times, most times than not, where I am focused on the US Canada conversion because, like many other people in the world, I do have funds more times than not that is reflected amongst the US dollar price. On several occasions, even today, doing things like DraftKings Fantasy and whatnot, it is very important as well. Meaning, when this goes up like that, I don't like it, and I don't like it. But that's fine. But I actually do like it when it goes up in the sense, I think I've been saying it because if this goes up, probably gold, silver, and precious metals will go up. So in that case, I do. But when you're getting paid in U.S. currency, you like it when it goes down, as does everyone else on their currency when they get paid in U.S. dollars. So when you're buying in U.S. currency, I suppose you like it when this goes up, I would think. But you can see here 1.1 here in this time frame that this got up to. So 10% stronger. So I guess at $50, you take 5 off. That would be like 45. So I suppose. Thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.